Hey guys, this is Michael and David, bringing you a review of Season 4 of The Walking Dead Telltale
The last
games.
season, too.
The last season. Bringing you a review of the first episode. It took me about, 2 or 3 hours probably to get through all the story narrative?
I would say, yeah, roughly.
Roughly 2 or 3, so
Two or three.
Definitely a lot longer than I thought it would have been.
Yeah, it's a good chunk for the first section of the season.
Yeah, for the season, and hopefully it keeps going that way. But I thought we would start off first by kind of just going through an overview of what a non-spoiler kind of
Yeah,
overview.
non-spoiler. And then later probably do spoilers.
Yeah, like a couple minutes of non-spoiler talk, of just an overview of it, and then we'll go into spoiler. But overall, I enjoyed it. As compared to other seasons, I think it's on par with Season 1 so far. With like the quality of everything. Season 3 was kind of, I think, a bad season. What was Season 2? Oh,
Season 2 was with Clementine.
Oh yeah, you were.
She was still young.
Yeah, she was still fairly young. But Season 1 was obviously with Lee, and that was really good. Season 2 was okay, I think, personally.
It was good. Some of the characters weren't as enjoyable as the first season.
Okay, yeah.
There was a lot of arguing and bickering with the characters.
Yeah.
And it just kind of got annoying.
And as a young girl, they didn't really listen to you much, so you were kind of just stuck listening to them.
And so your choices didn't matter as much.
Yeah. And then Season 3, it was just kind of, you were this whole new character that had Clementine in the story some of the time, but you weren't really connected with them. And then, so going into Season 4, back to Clementine and AJ. AJ's a little bit older. I'd say like
he's
4.
No, he's probably older.
He's older
he's
than
like
that. 6 or 7. Yeah, that's right. And Clementine's probably at this age, probably like around 14 to 16, somewhere in there.
That's a good age.
But yeah, essentially you two are out on your own, then you meet up with some people, stuff happens, and then you're left at the end of the episode kind of just at the shocking point, like, oh no, what's going to happen next, which I think is a really good way to finish the episode wanting more.
Yeah, it was a big cliffhanger.
Yeah, big cliffhanger.
Leaving like, why did I choose these choices?
yeah, like everything. And then even at the end, it showed you a ton of things that kind of branched your own path, your own narrative, and how you compared to other people in the world. Yeah. With your choices. And
I think it did that for like the other seasons too.
It did, but I felt like you had a lot more choices going on. A lot
bigger, and it actually impacted your story bigger.
Yeah. So overall, enjoyed the first episode. Any other remarks before we get into spoiler territory?
I think the characters this time around are more enjoyable to relate to.
Yeah, and you'll probably see in a minute once we get into real spoiler talk. But
I mean, yeah, they meet up with a camp of kids. They're all pretty much the same age.
Yeah,
from like 12 to 18.
18, yeah. I don't even think the oldest kid is even 18. He's probably like maybe 16, 17 too.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, so but yeah, it's a camp of kids, and we'll end it there for non-spoiler talk. It's hard for me to do non-spoiler talk. But yeah, we'll just go right into the spoiler and kind of go through the episode of our impressions of it,
how we made our choices.
Yeah. So, start of it, like we said, AJ's probably around like 7-ish. And Clementine is probably around 14 to 16, somewhere in there. I was trying to do the math in my head earlier, but that's probably the best estimate you have.
Yeah.
So, like, the apocalypse has essentially been going on for like 7 years. Kind of a long
Just
time.
To give you an estimate of how long this has been happening so much.
Yeah.
And how everyone adapt to.
So yeah, it opens up. You are in a car. It's you and AJ, and it doesn't look good. Essentially, like, you're short on food. Probably don't have a lot of gas in the car you're driving.
And you've been just traveling for days on end.
Yeah,
trying to find somewhere to stay.
Yeah, you're both tired, essentially. At first, my impression was like, oh, AJ is just kind of like, he seems like he's kind of put offish almost. Like, he wants to act older than he is.
Yes.
Which I guess is every kid. So, like, you really can't blame him.
Yep.
But
he's a lone wolf, pretty much.
Yeah, like, you're trying to be that caring mother to him, almost. But it's hard to relate, even though you're still a kid yourself. It's kind of weird. But after a short dialogue, you get up to a train station.
Yep.
Yeah, and I tried to play a super safe route. So, like, there was a little sign that said ring if you're friendly, and I rung it immediately.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Did you not?
Nope, I did not.
So what did you do?
I pretty much just didn't ring the bell and snuck in.
Snuck in?
Yep.
And you didn't know, like, if anybody was alive in there or anything?
I didn't know, because I didn't trust anyone.
Oh, okay. So,
well, because of the dialogue in that scenario led me to not ring the bell and try to sneak in.
Oh, okay. So some of the dialogue led you to be sneaky.
It was like, Telltale was talking about how she didn't trust anyone at the moment, so...
Oh, okay. Well, I was just like, I don't want to get accidentally shot, or maybe, like, AJ gets accidentally shot. Like, maybe this could...
Well, I thought I would get accidentally shot if I rung the bell.
Oh, okay. Well, either way, like, it was fine, because, like, I rung the bell, and then you saw, like, a walker in the background, then I just stabbed him, and that was pretty much it.
Oh, okay.
But I like the little prompt it gave you is, like, your actions, like, will dynamic... It's, like, dynamic choices, essentially. Like, your choices matter, and... all the other Walking Dead games, it still felt like it was kind of pushing you towards a certain goal.
Yeah.
And the same to this episode, it still felt like they were kind of pushing you to a single point, but it seemed like you had different choices.
Yeah.
And dynamic choices, essentially, this time, like they were saying. Like you not ringing the bell and just sneaking it. Again, like I found water on the outside.
You did?
I'm not going to drink that.
Oh, I drank it.
You drank the water?
Disgusting.
I was like, I'm probably going to get sick, and clearly, yeah.
I just wanted to know what it was.
But you pretty much easily break in. Oh, actually, so one important thing you talk to AJ about is, like, how you clear a room, essentially. I don't know if you remember that conversation, but, like, I was just like, always look for a way out. That's what I told him. Do you remember what you told him?
I said something along the lines of, don't hesitate.
Oh, don't hesitate.
Yeah,
Ooh,
that's what I said.
That's probably going to come into play later on.
Oh, it definitely did.
Which is cool because, like, he kept bringing back the point, like, every room we went into, he's like, I'm going to look for the exits, which is cool to me. Yeah. And you're probably slightly different dialogue, but...
Yeah, he kind of just did his own thing.
Yeah. Oh, well, there you go. So that obviously your actions are really shaping AJ's, which I think is kind of cool. So I go in, and then you find...
find the dead couple.
The dead couple that committed suicide. And then
so they leave a note saying that, leave us alone, we don't want to be killed, just leave us and be gone.
Yeah, essentially.
And so it gives you a choice saying, do you want to kill the couple or just leave them alone, be respectful. Mm-hmm. And so I killed them. I'm just like, you guys are dead. You're not going to do anything. Oh, I thought it was way more of a risk to leave them alive. Yeah. If, like, a herd came in and you're trying to get out quickly and they're right there and try to bite you or something. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, they're threat. My thought is in Apocalypse, if you're, like, a walker and like a zombie or anything, you're going to die if you oppose to any sort of threat. So
I agree.
Took them out. And then ended up getting the key from them to open the door. So I didn't have to have AJ go through, like, that teller booth.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So you did the same thing. Also, I think I found, like, a little bit of food or something on the table. It was like one can of something.
Yeah, it was a can of beans, I think.
So yeah, from there you go in the back room, you find a secret stash of food.
Yep, underneath a mattress.
And underneath a mattress, and
then
there's a grenade. Yep. So the same thing happened to you.
And so the food blows up, you trying to get dazed out from the grenade.
Yeah, this is like the first fast action sequence, is that obviously a herd comes up because they hear it.
Yeah.
And then
you gotta try to fight through the herd.
Which I actually died once trying to get out.
I died like 5 times.
5 times? Are you kidding me?
Because I didn't quite understand the controls.
Okay, so every time I went up to a walker, I mashed B first to take out their knee.
Yeah.
And then I stabbed them.
Well, I was trying to figure out, like, I'll knock one guy out and then kill him, and then another guy would come out. I'll just kill him, and then the third guy just kills me.
Instantly kill. Yeah, because it seemed like if they were too close to you while you're killing, like, the first or second one, they would just instantly kill you.
And so I just figured out, I'll just knock them all out, and then kill them.
Oh, I didn't realize that, so I guess you can do that. I did not do that. I just kind of, like, waited for one to get close to me, and then I did it. And then I kind of herded one more away from the group, and then I stabbed him.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of what I did. But then, yeah, you run out, you escape back to your car, you go down a hill because of, like, crazy things. That was actually pretty tense for me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I was just like,
because you're trying to start the car, it won't start, and then you stab a zombie, and then with the key, and then the key's gone.
Yeah, the quick time actions were actually pretty fun this time around, which I really enjoyed. We actually get to see right here, we're kind of watching a video in the background of me going up, doing the little kick thing and stabbing them in the head. But yeah, all the quick time was fast. You end up going down a hill, crashing, and then you see AJ get dragged away by a guy with a bow.
Yep.
My first thought was Daryl.
I thought so too, but I was like, nah.
No, yeah, they probably wouldn't bring Daryl directly in from the actual
they're trying to base it off the comics, and he was a character just for the show.
Yeah, but I think... Well, they did a whole Telltale series with Michonne, too. And although she was a comic book character, so I don't know. Like, he could maybe show up. I don't know. But I thought it was him, but then, like, after a while, you figure out it's not him. You actually get brought into like a campsite, which is an old school.
Yep.
With a bunch of kids, and the guy with the bow was Merlin.
Yeah, that's correct.
Marlin. Yeah, it was so hard to not hard to understand, but I kept on thinking like Marlin or Merlin. So okay, Marlin, and he's essentially this leader of the school of kids, and he's about like 16 or 17 probably, with a mullet. It's kind of weird.
Yeah,
mullet, and
that's his style.
Yeah, at first I snuck out of my room, which you probably did the same thing. I think that was the only choice, only real choice. But I had like a paint, whatever, like the scraper thing out of the toy box or the coloring box, paste, putty scraper or whatever. But I ended up like dropping it when he was pointing at me, because my thought was like, if he shoots, I'm gonna die. Like, I better.
It's like he has my kid probably, so I'm not gonna do anything risky.
But it seemed like he was pretty respectable, at that point, because he like obviously showed you around and everything, and there's like a bunch of kids around, and you're like, okay, not bad. And then you find AJ. He's with Luis playing the piano.
Yep.
Yeah.
AJ actually bites Ruby, which is another character that shows up.
Yeah. And I bumped into her before I got into her. I think actually you had to bump into her before going into the room. Yeah. Which brings up kind of the point of like all these different stats you can kind of come out with. You actually at the end got to see all the people you talked to and how you affected them and how your relationship is with them at the end.
That's true. Also, there's another mechanic in this game where you can find different objects inside this world, and then later on you get to go inside your room and like kind of decorate it a little bit with the collectibles that you collect.
Yeah, because moving forward, they kind of long story short is that they accept you into the school, and then you get a room in there with AJ, and you can put up things.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, you meet up with a lot of the kids. You're just talking, whatever, just developing the story. Oh, something else. I don't know when this happened exactly, but I had a dialogue with AJ about what to do in other stressful situations, and I said, always aim for the head. I don't know if you remember that conversation.
I'm not sure if I remember that.
And what you told him to do. I guess you don't remember.
No, I don't exactly remember. I don't know if that was a major...
Well, it definitely came up at the end for me.
I guess for me too as well, but...
Okay. Anyways, you meet up with everybody, and then you find out that you have to like save this hunting party that's coming back in.
Yeah.
So you had to like go out the gates and kind of like prove yourself to the team.
Essentially, yeah.
Essentially, you go out, you just stab a bunch of zombies. They actually have a really cool setup in there where they have a bunch of traps laid out outside of the fence.
Yeah, they have some ropes connecting to some rocks hanging above.
But you kind of think, like, how did they get that out there? Like,
yeah, I kind of thought that. I was like, they're not that strong, probably.
Yeah, like, you have a couple... Yeah, essentially you have a couple, like, older boys that are probably, like, 3 or 4 of them who are probably around the 15 to 16, 17 age range. And then you have a bunch of, like, younger kids, it seems like 12 and under, essentially.
Yeah.
And you have a couple, like, older girls, too. Yeah, so maybe. It could be possible.
If they all work together.
Yeah, it just seems like it'd be kind of tough with... Some of those boulders are kind of big.
Anyways, it was more for, like, styles points for them.
Yeah. I used a lot of those traps, too.
Yeah, I did it. But it seemed like it took a little bit just to do it.
Yeah, so I ended up, like, stabbing. I ended up dying there a couple times, too.
I don't think I died there, yeah.
It's just one of those things where, like, I thought it was safe, and, you know, you go up and you, like, just stab them, then the second one's right on top of you, and just eats your face off, so. So, yeah, you save them, you get introduced to the dog, Ruby. Rose. Rosie. Rosie's the dog.
Rosie, yep. She's like a pit bull.
Which is funny, because they bring back the point that, like, Clementine's scared of dogs, because I think in episode 2...
Season 2.
Yeah, season 2, like, right at the beginning, she meets, like, a dog and ends up, like, biting her and trying to, like, eat her or something, you know?
Yep.
So that was kind of cool that they, like, brought back that. She's kind of, like, she has, like, some PTSD, you know?
Yep. She's afraid of...
For dogs,
yeah. Marlon, he actually tries to have Clementine trust Rosie.
Yeah, like, the next morning.
Yep.
Which did you, like, let...
I let him do that.
Yeah, you kind of trust him at that point. Because, like, all up to that point, like, you know, you think Marlon's kind of, you know, he's doing good, you know, running...
Yeah, he fed you and gave you a bed. And
Yeah, like, he's doing okay for running a school full of kids, essentially. So that night, once you get the hunting party back and you eat, then you play a card game.
Yeah, that's true.
You like the card game?
Yeah.
Essentially, you play war. If you don't know what it is, essentially high card wins. And then the way they played it is if you won a round, you got to ask a question. Or they ask a question of you if they won.
And if you win, you get to ask a question to all of them.
Yeah. So were you pretty honest with them?
Yeah, I was.
Okay.
There's one question I wanted to answer, but I ran out of time. But they're like, "Oh, I guess you don't want to answer that."
What question was it?
I can't remember. I don't think it was that important.
There was one that was like, "Have you ever killed somebody?" And I said, "Yes, I killed Lee." And there was also like an option to say like, "I killed Kenny."
Yeah, I did that one.
You did the Kenny one. Yeah. I did the Lee one. And I think there was like, dang it! I think.
What was the grossest thing you ever eaten? There's that question.
I don't remember how I answered that one. I don't know.
You asked that one to the group.
Oh, yeah. I didn't ask the one about Marlon's haircut, though. I kind of wanted to.
I never did that.
I kind of wanted to. Then I
was like, all these choices are pretty boring.
they were actually kind of boring. That was the only disappointing thing is that you couldn't ask a fun question of them. This is me killing the little couple at the train station. But yeah, that's kind of a fun card game. You kind of get relaxed. You learn. You get to know Violet, who's like another girl there, about the same age as you.
Yeah, she's kind of a loner a little bit.
Yeah, but I complimented her a couple of times, about when we went to go save the hunting party and everything.
And when she goes like kill a walker.
Yeah, like I said, oh yeah, cool kills, and like I think she kind of liked that. I don't know, were you kind of the same way?
I think so. Yeah, I believe it.
And then like I said, Louise, which is kind of Marlon's like best friend.
They've been like friends for like in grade school
before
the whole apocalypse.
But I actually started to get kind of put off by Luis a little bit. Like I still liked him; he seemed fun.
Really?
Like he was like an actor
I
a
liked
little
him the whole time.
But, okay, so like
until later on in the story where you get to choose between
hunting and fishing.
Yeah, hunting and fishing. I chose to go hunt.
Me too. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And then, like, when you're out there hunting with Asim and Luis, you get an option to go with one of those two. But, like, Luis is just messing around with a walker, and he's just, like, he's not really doing anything. And Asim is actually, like, trying to do work.
Yeah, that was the only time I got annoyed by Luis. But so I went with Asim.
I guess, that was really the only time I was really annoyed by him. But, like, he has kind of, like, that free spirit where he doesn't really care about what's going on.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, we need food. Because you kind of find out that, like, they're kind of short on food and supplies in a little bit. So you kind of, like, see that unravel a little bit in the camp.
A little bit, yeah. And so they're kind of getting desperate a little bit.
So you go hunting. I actually sucked at hunting.
Oh, one thing we should probably mention, Marlon has a map and has all these safe zones, but he refuses to let anyone go outside them because strange things happen.
Yeah.
People go missing.
Yeah, and then you, like, learn about, like, these twins. Were they twin sisters?
Yeah, they're twin sisters.
10, who's, like, another kid in the school, like, his older twin sisters, like, they were told to us to die, that they just died.
Yeah.
Like, some accident, and that's why, like, Marlon's, like, super crazy about the safe zone. He just doesn't want to lose people. And then later on, we find out some other things about them. But yeah, so essentially he's just crazy about the safe zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So back to the hunting.
The hunting, yeah.
Yeah, so, it's like little mini game to kill some rabbits. I missed both my opportunities.
Me too. Me too. I was kind of upset about that because I waited the second time, and like right when I took the shot, that's when the bunny jumped. And I was Urgh. And the first time I didn't know exactly what I was doing, so I kind of like just as soon as I saw it, I tried to shoot. Because usually they're pretty lenient with the QuickTime things, where you can just kind of mash the button.
Yeah.
And once you get your crosshair in the circle, then it'll just kind of auto. Like,
and you'll get it.
You'll get it.
Congratulations.
Yeah. But like with the rabbit, you only got one shot. So like the first time I saw the rabbit jump out, I just started like clicking the trigger, and it just shot. And I was like, oh, great. Yeah.
So then you find a rabbit stuck in one of your traps. Turns out it's a baby rabbit.
Yeah. So I let him go.
I let him go too.
You let him go because so yeah, essentially both of us were kind of trying to impress Asen there at that point.
Yeah,
because he was like, let the rabbit go, grow a little bit.
Luis wanted to eat it.
Yeah, right away again with that carefree spirit. I was just like, Luis, calm down. It's okay. But I mean, in the background, Asen still was carrying some rabbits back, at least one or two, I think. So like he caught some.
Yeah,
but I felt a little bit better about. But then you go. And to the fishing cabin, which Brody, which is another girl at the camp, and Violet were trying to fish, and
they were ransacked.
Well, yeah, they actually acted like they never even saw the cabin getting ransacked, but like you get there and the cabin's just like all the supplies are gone essentially.
Yep,
and you find nothing but like a cigarette butt, right? Or it's like a cigar.
It was cigarette
butt.
Yeah,
it was like a rolled up one. And you're like, oh no, crap. But actually, what did you do with the cabin door? I kicked it in forcefully and like ran in.
Oh, we kind of just snuck in.
Oh, you snuck in?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, interesting. Yeah, because I think like at the end, what AJ does, I felt like it was kind of forceful. Like he was watching me like kick open the door and like go in guns blazing. So that's why he kind of acted the way he did. But
I feel like we had the same choice. At the end.
I think the same thing happened at the end for the both of us, but. Then we're just like, oh wait, now we're really short on food and people are hungry. So essentially Luis and Violet go with me to the train station. And that was kind of forced because like you look at the map and the only option the game gave you was to go back to the train station where you started, right? Yeah. But Violet and Luis went with me. I'm sure it was the same for you.
It was the same for me.
Yeah, so bring them there. Bunch of zombies there. I had Luis go up on the train car and distract him.
He went up there, and then he went to go distract his walkers while you snuck into the room with the hidden food supply area. Mm-hmm. And so you essentially do that. You sneak in, and where did Violet go? I know she ran off.
She was just lookout. She was lookout for us.
Oh yeah, she was a lookout.
Yeah,
did a very good job. Though.
Again, I enjoy the like QuickTime actions in this season so far. And again, it's tough because it was cool what Luis was doing, and then you had to like go up and stab the like stragglers back, and like how like the like what Luis was doing was kind of affecting what you were doing almost. It seemed like so that was kind of fun. But yeah, we go into this train station again. We both had the couple dead, so it's not like
they didn't do anything.
We had to do anything about them.
And the door was unlocked, so
yeah. And so you and AJ are in there trying to get food. And you end up finding quite a bit of food, and you're like grabbing
duffel
food
bags,
and everything,
filling it in.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, a random stranger comes up with a gun.
Yeah,
asking to give him the food that you just got.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, his name's Abel. He had 2 different color eyes.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, yeah. I think he had like a gold eye and like a brown eye or something like that. I don't know if you can see. We have a picture of all of them up.
It's hard to tell in this picture.
It's kind of hard to tell, but yeah. So he's essentially trying to rob you. He has a gun. I think at this point, what we should mention is that AJ's the only one with a gun.
Yeah.
Because, like, I guess bullet and guns are pretty scarce at this point.
And apparently he's a good shooter. That's what Clementine keeps mentioning.
Yeah. Like, Luis was freaking out that, like, AJ had a gun. Clementine's like, it's good, dude. It's good. And, like, so he only had 2 bullets, I believe.
Yeah.
From what I remember. Yeah, we found 2 bullets. He has 2. So AJ has 2 on his revolver. And then Abel just has, like, a gun he's holding you up with.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, just give me the food.
I'll walk away.
I'll walk away, essentially. So the classic thing was like, should I trust this guy? Was he actually going to kill us? You know?
Yeah.
So
I thought, I worked hard to get this food, so I'm just going to jump him, and then I pushed him out the window, essentially.
Yeah, because like AJ actually like comes out of like the little like hidden area where all the food is, and he's essentially pointing the gun at Abel, and Abel's then pointing the gun at AJ. And so it's like this thing of like, oh no, crap, what do I do? And I actually thought a little bit about it because it gave you like the option of attack Abel yourself, tell AJ to do it, or tell AJ not to do it.
Yeah.
And originally you told AJ to shoot, right?
Yeah, originally I told him to shoot, and it was a game over.
It was a game over, so that was like an instant loss. Yeah. So you really only, I think, would have had the option then to tell AJ to let him have the food or attack Abel.
Yeah.
And both of us ended up attacking Abel.
Essentially, yeah. And so he got pushed out the window. You don't know if he dies or not.
Yeah, because, like, I think you push him. Yeah, and AJ doesn't end up shooting the gun at all.
No.
But, like, it seemed like the walkers had a bunch of hands on him because the walkers were still kind of around the train station.
Yep.
Like, Luis was kind of distracting them, but, like, obviously noise of someone getting shoved out the window and everything, they're right on top of him. And that you don't see him die.
No, you don't.
But then later on, Clementine says a line like, oh, I saw the walkers take a bite out of him. Or at least I got the prompt.
I might have gotten that prompt. I don't remember.
So exactly. You're kind of like thinking like, okay, maybe he might die. Maybe he might die.
But still, it's up in the air.
Yeah, it's up in the air. Because if you don't see anybody die on screen, they're probably still alive.
Most likely.
So, yeah, this raider guy's still alive. You end up getting all the food and running, and everybody makes it out. So you... AJ and the other two make it out fine. You get back. You bring the food into the camp, and Brody gets really mad at you because she's just like, "How did you get this food? You went outside the safe zone. This is bad. This is bad." And then like she storms off, and like Marlon is just kind of like, "I don't like what you guys did, but you did bring food back, so
good job,
kind of thing." But he did seem worried too.
Yep.
And but essentially, everybody else is pretty happy about it.
Essentially, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because their belly's filled, so I would be happy too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, the first night you had to like kind of make friends with everybody because like AJ wanted to like go around and like kind of apologize for being like so crazy with him earlier.
Yeah.
But like he's a developing kid. Like he essentially lost his mom in the car accident, quote unquote, when like you were knocked out and he didn't know where you were. So you can't really blame him for lashing out.
I mean, Clementine's not actually her mom, but
his mom, yeah. But yeah, because she's only like 16 or something. But still, he was born in the apocalypse, raised by Clementine. So
yeah,
in all reasoning, like Clementine is his mom. So
yeah, he's still trying to read.
Learn how to read. So. Well, that's actually cool. Like Clementine's teaching him stuff. It's kind of neat. And so like you had to go around and meet, like, and then actually talk to people and like. You know, get to know them a little bit. Which again, at the end screen, you got to learn how much of everybody you got to really become friends with.
Yeah.
So yeah, that night you essentially do a few more things. You talk to like 10, talk to Violet and stuff, blah blah blah, and you go to bed. Actually, 10 made a drawing of like
the whole campsite of everyone.
Yeah,
no, it was his family.
It was his family, and he said they were all in another place, essentially. So it would be like heaven or something, an afterlife. And you got the option of him drawing you in there, and I had him draw me in there.
Yeah, I had him draw me.
Hey, he's a kid, just let him draw you in there.
I don't want to say no to him.
Yeah, I don't want to be mean, so you let him do that. I also had AJ draw me a picture the first night, too.
Yeah, I think he did that for me too.
Yeah, because like Violet came in, it's like, oh, can I have the coloring set? Because 10 really wanted to use it. I was like, AJ can keep it.
Oh, that I said, let Violet have it. And she's like, I guess you could finish up that drawing first.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did she end up taking the box?
Yeah, she ended up taking that box because I wanted to be respectful.
Yeah, I should have done that too, but I was like thinking at the point, like, he's already drawing, so I'm just let him finish, And then it, like when I said that, like a little prompt that said like 10 will be disappointed. I was like, no. But then like the next morning, like him and AJ were fighting over a toy, and then I told AJ to give the toy back to 10.
Yep, same thing.
Yeah, so we're being okay parents, I feel like, because I think a lot of this episode is like trying to have you be a parent to AJ.
It's also teaching you that you're teaching AJ how to live.
Essentially, everything, all the actions you're taking really impact AJ. So it's like you really have to do things that you think you want AJ to do later on.
Yep.
Essentially. Yep. So yeah, that's the second night. And then you kind of wake up in the middle of the night to some yelling. You like kind of poke around a little bit and you find out that it's Brody and Marlon fighting in the basement about essentially what you did to get the food and what the raiders are. And
how they're related to them.
Yeah. So essentially you find out that like there's this big cover-up that Marlon has done and that Brody knows about, that Ten's twin sisters
are not dead, but actually given to the raiders to have protection, quote unquote,
to the kids at the school. So you find that out, and like when Brody's like trying to tell you about it, like Marlon just freaks out and then bashes her head in.
Yeah.
I don't know if that happened with you.
Yep, he did that with the flashlight, and then,
and then
so she gets kind of like dazed and doesn't really remember too much anymore. And
yeah, but you see like blood coming out and everything. There's a giant wound in her head,
and so she gives me the last information that Marlon gave the sisters to them, and then she dies.
Yeah, and then like Marlon freaks out and essentially is gonna try to blame you for it.
Yep,
for her dying, and then like locks you into the basement, and then it's like crap. Brody's going to change, she's going to turn.
Yep. And so you're trying to find a light source, and
yeah, because it's dark down there. I mean, obviously no electricity. All you have is a flashlight that's far away. And it kind of felt like a horror movie almost,
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what this game's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Or this
I was
series.
Like, so you get the flashlight, and you're kind of like going around this maze of like shelves in the basement, and I'm like checking corners. Like you can't really like check corners. Like you can't lean around them, but I'm like trying to get as far over to the side as I could, and like lean my flashlight around because
you don't have like a jump scare or anything.
Yeah, because I'm like it's gonna be a jump scare. Sure enough, I think there was a jump scare. Or no, like you could get up to like the exit, but like Marlon like locked it, so you're like trying to open it with a ruler, and then like like lightning strikes, and you could like see Brody's corpse like right behind you trying to get you.
It's like it's flashing that she's coming closer,
which was like that was actually kind of tense for me, because then like she grabs you and like you kind of have like a fight going down the stairs, and then you just start bashing her with the flashlight,
and the flashlight starts turning red. So.
Yeah, with all the blood. I was like, that's so like freaking weird, man. Like you're bashing her skull in, and then like the light source turns red with all the blood. I thought that was really tense, and I liked it. I thought that was kind of cool.
So yeah, after you kill Brody, or dead Brody, Walker Brody, you essentially escape the basement. Everyone's outside talking to Marlon about the whole situation.
Yeah, because like all this commotion has woke up everybody essentially,
and so Marlon trying to put the blame on Clementine.
Yeah, and at first, like, everybody's like, oh, what's the blood on your jacket, Marlon? Because Marlon had some blood on his jacket when he tried to bash in Brody's head the first time, He kind of, like, freaked out, bashed her head, and there's blood all over her jacket. And then he immediately points the finger to you, because you have blood all over you, because you had to kill her a second time.
Yeah.
You had to kill the Walker version of her. And then it just starts escalating. And then, I think AJ like walks out, and then like Marlon steals the gun off of him.
Yeah, he steals the gun, like points the gun at Clementine, and so Clementine's trying to get like people to get on her side.
Yeah, and so like I ended up turning to Violet at that time.
Yeah, at that moment I turned to Luis.
Oh, you did? Okay. And then,
since Luis is like best friends with Marlon, so
okay. Well, I felt like I was connecting more with Violet at that point, so I just kind of went with her.
Okay.
And it ended up working out for me, because she ended up like standing in front of me to protect me from Marlon.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing Luis probably did a similar thing.
Luis did the same thing. He was like, he really didn't want to do it either. Because he didn't want to get part of that situation at all.
But then he so he was much more hesitant. Violet, it didn't seem like it was as hard to have her kind of jump in the way.
Okay.
Because it seemed like she was a little bit more on my side about the whole thing, like with the reasoning and everything. Because once you start bringing up like the sisters and everything, everything's out in the air, and then like the kids are kind of like thinking about it, like, oh, this all kind of makes sense almost. And then like Ten's sitting back there, like, you gave away my sisters, you gave away kind of thing.
Marlon's trying to be apologetic, and
and he's kind of like freaking out at the same time. And then he's like pointing the gun at everybody, And I'm thinking this, sitting there like, somebody's gonna get shot. Somebody's gonna get shot. I end up talking him down.
Yeah, I talked him down, and so he drops the gun, and so everything seems okay.
Yeah, and what were the lines that I told him? Like, he was just like, oh, he still had the gun at some point, at like one point, and I like talked him down, like everything's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
And then he drops the gun, and then he's just like, I should just leave. And I was gonna say like something like, you know what, this can all work itself out.
I think I said the same thing where it gave you like the option to have him stay or
like leave, or like this is just not gonna work kind of thing. And then
AJ shoots Marlon
right in the head. Well, like at first you just see Marlon's face, and then there's a hole in his head, and you're just like, crap! Like the Raiders are here. Duck! Like something's about to go down, and then he drops, and you see AJ right there with a smoking gun.
Yeah.
And I'm just like sitting there like, crap! I told him to always aim for the head. I told him to do this.
Yeah, I think he says something along the lines of something like that. He's like, or probably in your situation, he's like...
He did say that. He was like, what? I was just aiming for the head. That's what he said to me.
And then for me, he said whatever I said earlier. Or, don't hesitate.
Oh, don't hesitate. So, yeah.
So I was like, oh no, I made the wrong choice.
That's funny then. So yeah, that's how like episode 1 finishes, and you're just like, oh crap, like this is crazy. And I'm actually pretty excited for episode 2, which probably will come out in like a month or so.
Yeah,
maybe a couple months.
There's 5 episodes in total.
Yeah, I think that's been pretty much the case for every season. So yeah, probably 5. But now that talking about it with you more, it seems like again, you know, they're pushing you to a certain point,
which I'm sure any game like that has to do that.
Which is a little disappointing. You know, I hope there was a way, and there probably isn't, but I hope there was kind of a way that like Marlon or Brody could like still survive, you know? Like get out of those encounters where she's gonna die or he's gonna die because of whatever actions.
Yeah.
But it's a little disheartening when you know that they're just guaranteed to die, you know? Because in those kind of games, you kind of hope that you could save people if you played your cards right.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
But there's one more thing I wanted to say. It's kind of just slipping my mind. Actually.
Yeah, but like that's the case with any like choice-driven games like Mass Effect or anything. It's like you would kind of wish that you could really drive things a certain way and push it. Like if you want to be like super evil or something, like you could do that the whole time and like do like run and gun actions. Or if you wanted to play it a little bit more, you know, off the cuff or like trying to be more of a talker, like a Luis or something, like you could.
Yeah, to be the pacifist.
But it seemed like either way you go, Marlon's gonna die, you know, by getting shot by AJ.
Yeah.
By something that you said, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It did seem like, you know how the game gives you all the stats of everyone's choices? Mm-hmm. It did seem like it was an even split between all the choices.
A lot of the choices. I think there was one where... dang it. There was one choice where I was like...
it was an uneven split?
Yeah, where I was actually a little shocked that I was in the majority. I think it was killing the couple, the turned couple in the train station that committed suicide and just wanted to be left alone.
People left them alone?
I think a lot of people actually killed them, which I thought a lot of people would just left them alone. But like you and me, we both killed them, and I think the stat was that most people killed them.
I kind of wish I had the stats up, actually, but...
I could probably pull up the video of me going through stats, but... Anyways, yeah, some of those stats were kind of cool, and I'll probably show them like right here at this point of the video.
Yeah.
But yeah, closing thoughts. I thought if I had to put a rank to it, I'd probably say like 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10?
8.5 maybe. Yeah.
That's good.
I don't want to put it too high because, especially like I said, after talking with you, it seemed like, you know, again, they're pushing you to a certain point, which they kind of have to a certain point, but I would still like to see certain characters alive in some people's game playthrough, and those same characters possibly being dead in another playthrough, you know?
Yeah.
That's why I kind of want to keep, like, it's still good, the story's still good, the play is fun, and it seemed like it was a good chunk of time, so that's why I said 8.5.
Yeah, as long as they have that consistent, the time-wise... I think it might be a good series.
Oh, like the same length?
Same length as
for
like
each
episode 1, yeah.
Yeah, like 3 hours.
3 hours.
Yeah, probably play through. Unless you're just mashing through the text, but we're paying attention to the story, so.
Yep.
But, alright.
I never gave my rating, actually.
Well, what's your rating?
I mean, it was definitely better than Season 3.
Yeah, Season 3... I started out like for it, and then like towards the end, I just didn't care.
Yeah, I didn't care about any characters, my brother or any really. Actually, the people you were with.
So your nephew, I forget the kid's name, but like your nephew, for me, my playthrough, he dies like in a back alley. Like I think because the guy and your brother and his son get into a car accident. Like the guy dies instantly, your brother, I think, or something. For my playthrough,
yeah.
And then like the kid just like dies. Oh no, you actually have to shoot him because you find him like bleeding out in a back alley.
No, you either shoot him or like leave him your gun to shoot himself.
I think I shot him.
I gave him the gun.
Dang it.
Then afterwards, I was like, no, I was thinking like, I'll leave him the gun, he'll shoot himself, and I'll just grab the gun. And then, nope, you just walk away. And I was like, that's a waste of a gun.
That's That's what I was thinking too. I'm just like, I'm just gonna shoot him. Well, also, I don't want the kid to shoot himself. Come on, you're heartless, Dave.
I didn't care about the characters. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
but anyways, no, we're talking about this episode.
Yeah. So, what's your rating?
I think I'll give it like a 7.5 out of 10.
7.5. Okay, so 1 point lower, but like still good. Still good.
It's still good,
and I'm excited for the next episode.
Yeah,
you are too. So, hopefully, you guys enjoyed. Yeah, do all the YouTube stuff.
Of course. Stuff.
Then episode cut 2 comes out. Hopefully we'll do a review of that as well. And just keep going from there. So, yeah. See you guys.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks.